The Solar Decathlon is an event sponsored by the United States Department of Energy and NREL. It takes place this year. It takes place in Washington, D.C. In mid-October. It's a competition in which 20 teams from around the world are challenged to completely design, build, and engineer from the ground up an 800 square foot solar-powered home. We have to completely construct it, deconstruct it, and reconstruct it on the National Mall in D.C. And then we compete in 10 sub-contests in everything from architecture to hot water to engineering to market viability, everything that it takes to build a home. We just finished our construction documents. We submitted them in middle of December at the end of our last semester to the DOE. Construction just began at our construction site. Everything should be built and ready to go by June 1st. And then from that, it's just a matter of practice. Building the home, taking it down, and rebuilding it to make sure we know it, because this thing has to be transported across the United States, so we have to be sure that nothing's going to crack, things aren't going to break. Basically, the house breaks down into 5 different modules, 3 lower modules, 2 upper roof modules, and so I believe we're going to have something like 5 semis in which we basically have to place the modules on, secure, and ship across the United States. So it's a very big process. Our construction engineer definitely has his hands full on that one.
In a normal house, every board works with every other board in the house to keep it standing. If you take one out, odds are it significantly weakens the house. On this, if I take down the entire east side of the house, the rest of it still has to stand there. So because of the nature of the competition and the fact that we have to send it across country, we're using a lot more material than we would have liked to have used. But real world, if this house were to be replicated for somebody to just live in, or even a bigger version of it, you probably can get by with a significant amount less material. Making everything as rigid as possible and more material than would normally be necessary is what's helping everything stand. Once you get that figured out, you still can't win the competition if you don't have a house that works. Then you just have a shell of a house that nobody cares about. I mean, it's all the things in the background that have to work together. You have to take your structure, you have to take your engineering, you have to take your architecture, and if they don't all blend well together and the technical aspects don't work out the way they're supposed to, then you don't achieve your goals of the whole competition. Currently there's over, I'd say, close to 100 students involved, but for the actual construction of the project, there is about 24 students that are working for a class credit. They all got incorporated and enrolled in this course by interviews. So they all interviewed with me, gave me their construction experience background, and I placed them where I thought they'd be appropriate to get a good spectrum of knowledge so that the really educated people can train the not so experienced students, so that everybody would have a fair chance to do an equal part of the construction.
Beyond that, there's several classes across the university which are aimed towards producing things for the house. There's marketing and PR, which are producing advertising materials and public relations materials. There's our workshop, which is continuing to produce design drawings for the home. We're fortunate to have a wide range of talent and people available on campus. Iowa State has a great advantage. This is the first time that schools in the Midwest have been chosen. We're competing against teams in Europe, Germany, and Spain, and we're also competing against like Puerto Rico and across the country. I think Iowa State has been very helpful in offering this opportunity to students. It's a really great opportunity, and Iowa State has proved to be, very supportive of this effort.